I still can't sleep after what happened to the generous Prince of Oyo. I'll never forget the sound of his screams echoing through the forest. It's a sound that I wish I could erase from my memory, but it stuck with me like a scar. It's been 2 weeks since the incident, but the image of Prince Ade's burning car is still etched in my mind. I'm still trying to process what I witnessed that fateful night. As a driver for the royal family, I had the privilege of working closely with Prince Ode. He was a kind and generous soul, loved by everyone in the kingdom. He would spend hours listening to the problems of the villagers, offering words of encouragement and support. He was a true leader, and I felt honored to work for him. That night was no different. The prince had asked me to drive him to the village of Ibadan, where a severe storm had destroyed many homes. We loaded the car with relief supplies and set off into the darkness. As we drove, Prince Ode talked about his plans for the kingdom. He wanted to build new schools and hospitals, and provide jobs for the unemployed. He was passionate about making a difference, and I was inspired by his vision. As we approached the village, I noticed a strange, pungent smell in the air. At first, I thought it was just the smell of the storm, but then I realized it was something more. I tried to ignore it, but the smell grew stronger, making my head spin. Suddenly, the car's tires blew out, and we crashed into a nearby tree. The next thing I knew, the car was engulfed in flames. I managed to escape, but Prince Ode was trapped inside. I tried to pull him out, but the doors were jammed. His screams still haunt me. I can still hear him calling out for help, his voice growing weaker and weaker. I tried to break the windows, but they wouldn't budge. I was powerless to save him. The villagers arrived soon after, and we managed to put out the fire. But it was too late. Prince Ode was gone. The investigation that followed revealed that the car's brakes had been tampered with. It was no accident. Someone had deliberately tried to kill Prince Ode. I'm still trying to come to terms with what happened. The prince's generosity and kindness had earned him many enemies, but I never thought it would lead to this. I keep thinking about what I could have done differently, if only I had noticed something earlier. Has anyone else ever experienced something like this? How did you cope with the trauma? I'm still trying to find answers, but I know I'll never forget the sound of Prince Ade's screams. It's a sound that will haunt me for the rest of my life. The days that followed were a blur. I was questioned by the police, and I had to relive the events of that night over and over again. I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't eat. I just kept thinking about Prince Ode and what had happened to him. The kingdom was in mourning. The prince's death had sent shockwaves throughout the country, and people were struggling to come to terms with what had happened. I attended the funeral, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. As I looked at the prince's coffin, I felt a wave of grief wash over me. I couldn't believe he was really gone. I kept thinking about all the times we had laughed together, all the times we had talked about our hopes and dreams. The investigation into the prince's death was ongoing, but I knew it wouldn't bring him back. I just wanted justice to be served, for whoever had done this to be held accountable. As the days turned into weeks, I started to feel a sense of purpose. I knew I had to do something to honor Prince Ade's memory, to keep his legacy alive. I started volunteering at a local charity, one that Prince Ode had supported. It was hard at first, but slowly I started to feel a sense of healing. I was doing something positive, something that would make a difference in people's lives. I knew Prince Ode would be proud of me. I still think about Prince Ode every day. I still miss him.